we look at your setup, which we discussed obviously, mainly a setup adjustment, we're taking your lead forearm, so your left forearm, that's kind of where it was pointing, and now we're going to try and get it to point a bit more down towards the golf ball there. In an ideal world, you'd have it from a shoulder, through your arm, down to the golf ball. You can see your hands aren't far away from that spot, but if we go on this left hand side here now, put a red line on, go from your shoulder down to the golf ball, those hands are quite a long way from that red line there, okay? Just because of that sort of setup there now, your left arm across your chest there, it's levelled off your shoulders. I mean, there's kind of your shoulder alignment there, and this one here now, you're probably there. You haven't tilted it a lot more, okay? As I said before, you could go a little bit more. If this shoulder goes a little bit higher, okay, this arm or this hand will go a little bit more this way, and this arm will get a little bit straighter kind of thing. So from being here, you just go a little bit more. But again, at the moment, you already felt strange in this right hand image. We don't want to make it any more strange to start with, okay? Get this sort of position now on the right hand one feeling more comfortable, and then in time you sort of edge it across bit by bit by bit. Now there is a point you could go too far where you start going way underneath it, okay? And that will cause another sort of list of problems, okay? But for the time being, I wouldn't suggest you're able to get too much of a tilt there with your shoulders, okay? Now in terms of that, when your right arm now, so your left arm, right as we look on the camera, with your left arm being a bit more kind of extended, you can push the arms away now and get that club a bit more kind of behind you, up over your right shoulder. Good position there, okay? Nice full shoulder turn. What we're going to start looking towards now, probably going through maybe the winter now, in the next few months, sort of working on your game, okay, is getting this impact position better. Now, before, because your shoulder's being levelled off, you have to try and square the club base up by kind of what we call early releasing or sort of semi-scooping the golf club, okay? When we come back to the golf now, what we're looking for is similar to that kind of setup. As you're striking that golf ball, okay, the club shaft to be towards your left thing, and that'll be kind of where your left hip is, okay? Now you move your body, okay, so your lower half, you can see your legs sort of driving towards that green line nicely, and your head's then behind the golf ball. But at impact, if I come down a frame, the next frame is impact, I think. There you go. So there's just about the ball being hit, okay? So you see the blur kind of coming in there, and you can see kind of where your hands are there. Basically the middle part of that blur, which is basically where your hands on the left arm kind of shows that, there, they're behind the golf ball, okay? What we want to try and do, as I say, bookend the golf ball. So your head, nicely behind the golf ball. What we want to see is your hands more this way. So the stuff we did then with the impact bag, okay? It's in that bag, get those hands in front. It's going to be the way we're going to bring that ball back. Your launch angle, that's 33 degrees there with a 9-iron, is it? Yeah. Way too high. I mean, we should be looking at, for you, mid-20s at most. Okay. Early part of your practice, I would say maybe 26, 27, 28 would be acceptable. That would certainly be a change, but 33.8, just sending that 120 yards up in the air rather than going forwards a bit more, sort of penetrating with the flight, okay? But that's going to come from you moving kind of your hands from back here towards the green line there, so not even too far back. But that the hands back here, we said, your instinct to impact is always going to take over, because that's what you've kind of had to do with that left-hand setup, okay? Because you couldn't square the club face up effectively, your way of doing that was kind of just flick it with the hands. And again, because you had some of those unmentioned balls where you were levelled off with the shoulders coming forward too much, try and square the club face up. No, I can't, so okay, this will kind of work. And you just got used to making these adjustments, but it just makes it very inconsistent. When you hit it well, it's really good, maybe a bit high. When you hit it badly, it's like, oh God, where's it going? I think it's all over the place in terms of left and right. So just try to get a little bit more in terms of that consistent movement. Okay, top half, head stay nice and stable there, good sort of top half movement. Getting that lower half to drive now, which you do, that's nice. It's now getting your hands and being aware of where your hands are at impact. Now a simple drill, which we'll show in a second now, you can hit some shots where you really try and feel your hands are in front, and you're just going to finish the swing off to about here somewhere. It's not going to go much further than that, okay? And what you're trying to do is keep your hands kind of up here and the club kind of almost down, almost like a cricket type shot kind of sensation. So almost just try and punch it as low as feasibly possible to get that ball foot down. Purely a drill, purely a massive exaggeration, just to feel as though what it feels like to get your hands kind of more towards that green line there, okay? Not so far back behind the golf ball, okay? So you could do that maybe as your warm-up swing, sort of 10 or 15 shots, these sort of low punches, a sort of fairly standard setup, same kind of tilted position, okay? Same good backswing, but then start controlling that loft and that face with your hand position as best we can, all right? Does that make sense, yeah?
Yeah, really
excellent,
good, thank you.
Good stuff, mate.